Hello everyone and welcome to another video by Shadow Reviews, and today we're going to be reviewing another Hero Factory Transformers mock, and today we're going to be reviewing Skystorm. And this one I built right after I built the Deadshot 2 or 3.0, probably the last video that, Hero Factory mock video that came up before this guy. So as you can see, this is his vehicle mode, and he transforms into a very large ship. And this is definitely one of the larger ships that I've built, not only in width, which I think the width is probably not that much different from my other ships, but just in length. As you can see, it's kind of hard to get it all in frame without moving it quite far back from the camera. I mean, just looking at it, this is probably almost a foot long, just in length, maybe a couple inches wide. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely one of the longer and larger ships that I've built. It's not like super dense, I guess. That means it's about that thick from top to bottom. So it's not like super dense, but it has a good amount of weight to it. It's pretty solid. A couple of things may move around, and that's probably one of the problems with this, but I do like this ship though. I mean, it looks really cool. You have the wings here with the orange front wings. Some lightning coming up here to form that, I guess. You have these claws up here. You have your simulated cockpit, some guns up front. You have main wings here. These gold claws is like accents to the ship. You have your feet here once again as air intakes just on the sides and angled back like that. And here you have your boosters back here, which the main theme of this mock, or what I really, or kind of why I really built this guy, is so that I could do something that I really wanted to do. I used chest plates. I wanted to use, Hero Factory 2.0 chest plates to form boosters at the back of the mock. And I wanted those boosters to be formed from the hands and some other attachment, and that's what I did. As you can see, this is the hands. These parts are the arms on the outside, on the inside just the extra parts that connect to the hands. And those form some large boosters, which I do think look very good. They look cool. If I get some coverage up here, on the top, they may look a little bit better, because, you wouldn't have this large gap here, or the gaps down here. But, I mean, overall, I think they do look very good. They look like large boosters, especially from the back. You get that large booster look. And that's overall what I wanted to do for this mock, give him the large boosters formed from hands and the arms, And then I just put on the rest as I built it to just fill out the ship. So one problem, like I said, or mentioned before, is that a lot of things do move around on this thing, I mean, I guess it's like all mocks where things will move around, but I mean, there's just a lot that you can bump into and just mess up the positioning. First would probably be this, since it's up at front, if you were to just like, do that, you might move it around, or just do that, and it might skid and, change angles. Also, since this is formed from two different, like, kind of body assemblies, this one right here may tend to move up and down as you play with it. Also, since these right here are made up of 3 joints, those may move around a little bit. And this is on a joint, so you may have to adjust the wings from time to time, because they may move up, down, a little bit back. So you may have to adjust them just to keep them symmetrical. Back here, you may have some movement there, but I don't think that's really going to be a problem. I think one of the worst movement problems is the legs, since they don't have any type of connection to anything at all. So they'll probably just get knocked around a bit as you play with it, and you have to reposition them and then reposition the feet, like so. Now here's the bottom of the mock. We got his head, got this assembly here at the bottom of the body, which is quite bare. I mean, the rest of it's pretty armored up, or at least covered up, but this is bare here. I do like this ship. I think it's very cool. When you put it on the ground, I mean, either it's just me or in how I transformed it, but it's probably just going to be like this, period. It is back heavy for the ship, because most of its bulk and most of its weight is back here. This is just kind of added assembly, like I said, and there's not a lot of weight up here, so it just sits like that, and this nose cone faces up. And I think you can kind of change that. No, you can't. I'm just thinking maybe you could help out a little bit with the boosters. I mean, mostly it just rests on the bottom of the wings and the bottom of the legs here, and a little bit on the head. So yeah, it'll be looking up constantly. If you position the boosters right, it won't look too bad. And you probably should take note to make the boosters look like they're straight. Which is just, just make sure the boosters are straight, which is what you want to do with any transformer. Make sure everything's straightened out how you want it. So yeah, pretty cool ship. I do like it. Yeah. So let's get into transformation. And before we do that, I should mention weapon storage. The weapon doesn't really have anywhere it can go. It can't go anywhere up here or anywhere really. If you like spun the head around so that the front of the face was facing down toward the ground, you might be able to put the weapon in to this axle peg or axle hole right here, and then have this as like a booster. But that might not work so well because these two are the boosters and not in the center, so that might look a little odd. And I knocked this. But yeah, with that out of the way, let's get the transformation. First, what you're going to want to do is going to grab here, and these are connected to some connectors right in there. You're going to pull this up and away from it, and that'll free up the wings to move, and now when you dislodge them both, free up this front section to move. So do that on both sides. It's just these pieces connecting to connectors right there. So do that on both sides. Like I said, now this is all moving around. So just kind of keep these out the way, maybe bend them backwards. This you're going to spin around and fold down so that the guns are facing like that. And then these are just going to kind of fold up and angle up. Just like that in preparation for robot mode. Next, what you're going to want to do is spin these legs out and just move these farther back and out of the way. So spin the legs out and straighten them. So do that on the other side, like so. And voila. So now bend this backwards. Oh, don't pop that off. So just bend this backwards like that to get out the way. You can put the legs all the way down. Now what you want to do, just kind of, leave these ones how they are. They won't go completely straight up and down because of how the Ordica necks I used here are shaped. But this is probably the best you'll get it. So what you want to do is come back here, split the hands from the other booster half, like so. Just leave the pegs on the booster halves. Straighten out the hands like that, put them down, do the same over here like so, and let's angle up so that it's easier for you guys to see. So here's most of them done, and what you're going to want to do with these is spin them around so that the chest plates are on the outside. Then bend them backwards like that. And then pull the head forward. There you go. Mostly done. Now for the more difficult part. See, what you want to do is you're going to want to bend this up and you're going to move these back so that it can go all the way up. It's not going to lock into anything, so that's a bit of a problem. It'll just, move around from time to time. What you want to do is just pull this up as far as it can go and then just rest it in that little space. So you can see a little bit of wiggle room. Let's angle up a little more. What you want to do with these is just rest them on the main larger wings, like so that you'll be able to see them from the front. Just like that. And this is one of the harder parts that I'm about to show you. These aren't that hard to position, these lightning pieces, because they're only on one joint. But since these are on 3 joints, it's a bit harder, and I'll show you what I'm rambling about in a minute. What you want to do is kind of position these like on top of the lightning blades, I guess. Or yeah, you want to do that. But since they're on 3 joints, it's kind of hard to get them symmetrical and just exactly the way you want it. So you have to kind of fiddle around with it till you get it the way you want it. And what you want to do is have this axle hole right there and then the edge of the blade on the inside. You can change that if you want, but that's just how I like it. So you're going to do the same on the other side. I guess it's not that hard for me just because I'm experienced with it. I built it, and so I've transformed this guy a lot. But for you, it may take a little bit of fiddling just to get it exactly the way you want it. And most of the problem is just getting it symmetrical. I mean, if you just slapped it on there and was done, it looked unsymmetrical. It probably wouldn't look very nice, but I mean, it'd be done. But getting it symmetrical is a bit more of a challenge. So just put these on here like that. I think that's good. These gold claws don't matter as much to me, but I'm going to get them symmetrical too. So let's do like that. And yeah. Alright, so back is done, front is done, and here you have Skystorm, not Skystorm, Skyblade in his robot mode. And as you just heard, I did call him Skystorm by accident because their names are pretty similar, you know, one's Skystorm, one's Skyblade. And if you haven't seen Skystorm, he's one of the first videos I put on his channel, so just go search for it. Anyway, here's Skyblade, and you know, he looks pretty nice. I do enjoy how he looks. I think all the stuff back here, especially with these nozzles kind of pointing down, it looks just like a big jetpack on his back. I think that's really cool and allows him, you know, just to fly around. And, you know, with these wings, it looks really cool, you know. I always like the wings sticking out from the back, you know, and like this, they just look extra cool. You know, yeah. So, I mean, you have the booster parts up there. They don't bother me too much. They don't really get in the way of head articulation either, so that's good. Like I said, this will move around just a bit from time to time if you bump it. So, you know, you have some side movement, it may fold back a little. Just, you know, if you're putting it back, just kind of be careful so that you don't have to completely reset these blades up here, because that'll be a real pain. Yeah, but I mean, here he is. I think he's a really good looking mock, you know. Here's his full view from the front. I mean, if you're one of those people who like really likes his stuff to be symmetrical, then the wings will probably bother you like a lot. You'll probably be fiddling with them a lot, but I mean, if you just accept that it's not really going to be completely symmetrical, then you might not have as much issue with it. With me, I kind of like my stuff to be symmetrical, or as symmetrical as I can get it. I think that's good for now. Yeah. So, as you can see, the wings are angled forward, like I said, because of how the Hordika necks that they're attached to are shaped. You can't really do anything about that. I mean, you can move them up and down a little. This gets in the way of the arm, and this gets in the way of the booster up there. You can move them back, but I wouldn't do that. I mean, I would to open up arm articulation, which I'll show you in a sec, but I mean, yeah, if you move that back, you'd have to move everything else back, which I'll do, you know, for now. But let's do the articulation. So his head, you know, and I just knock that. It goes up about that far, goes side to side. You know, you have pretty much everything. You can look down, which is good because these are here and they don't get in the way. I think that's mostly because I didn't put any armor on these, which is a good thing. If you wanted to armor those, then you could, but you'd probably limit head articulation. His head is not his arm. So for the arms, which are these, they go up, they go forward, not back a whole lot. If this is in the way, this connector, then they won't go back a whole lot, but if you kind of maneuver around it, you can get it back a little farther. And since the wings are on ball joints like everything, you can just move them out the way. Problem with this guy is that if you move these out the way, then you have to move these, and then these will become unsymmetrical, and then you start fiddling with them. So yeah, I just pick a position for the wings and just leave them so that you don't, you know, continually fiddle with them. Now they go up, they rotate, they bend, almost, not quite 90 degrees. There's probably maybe like 80, just because of how the chest plates are shaped in comparison to this and how they interfere with each other. The hand has almost all the articulation you can need. You know, it just can't go out. As you can see, the chest plate limits it. This little ridge gets in the way if you're putting stuff in his hand, but I mean, that's not that big of a problem because you just move his hand out the way, and then when you have it here, you just bend it forward. That may be a little annoying to some people. His legs, they go forward, they go back about that far, they go out a little bit in, they you know, rotate, they bend at the knee a little more than 90 degrees or a lot more. You know, got all the foot articulation. So yeah, you know, he's pretty articulate, not too much getting in the way, but I mean, like always, the backpack is usually what's getting in the way of his articulation. So yeah, I mean, I do like this guy. I think his colors flow well. Most of his colors, I mean, ooh, hit the camera, sorry. Most of his colors on his robot mode, and I'll see if I can get you guys to see it. Most of his colors consist of blacks and gunmetal grays for the most part. I mean, there are a few other color highlights, like you have your trans orange, you have your gold here, which doesn't really match with anything else at all, but I mean, it looks cool. If you wanted to put silver claws, that might match a little bit better. You know, this orange kind of matches the trans orange. This matches his head, and the head matches the claws. You know, I think the colors are pretty nicely, you know, spaced out. You know, pretty good amounts of each. At least most of the colors match with something else, but for the most part, I think he's pretty good. You know, you may be, you know, like wondering or at least bothered by the use of two different colored chest plates. I didn't have, you know, two of the same colored chest plates because, I mean, already they're all different colors. You know, the ones on the arms are both black, so that the arms are, you know, symmetrical. But I didn't have any more black chest plates, and I don't know if I had another one with the gunmetal gray. I might not have. I might have, and I just couldn't find it. I used the scarlet one, or just, you know, darker red one over here instead of a gunmetal gray. If you wanted to change that, you could. I mean, if you had more black chest plates, I'd put that on. But if you had gunmetal gray instead, I'd match those. This is a little out of place here because, I mean, he has like almost no other white on him, but I think it still matches. It does. It is the Surge printed plate from his 2.0 version. I'm trying to get you to see that, you know. But I mean, if you just wanted to switch that out, that wouldn't matter all that much. I'd probably go silver. And I mean, there are 5 long black shells, but those, as far as I know, are only on the Queen Bee set from Hero Factory, maybe on one of the machines from the Invasion from Below series, but I don't know. You know, I only got one set from that wave. I'm hoping to get the Queen Bee so I can get those 5 long black shells. But yeah, you know, I think its colors flow really well. You know, they're pretty good. I'm trying to get him stood up straight so you can see. Oh, this got knocked around again. Gosh, I mean, if you could put a lock in there, so that this back body would just lock onto something, that would probably improve this figure a lot, because as it is, he just moves around way too much. I mean, the backpack, I mean. But trying to get him up straight so that you guys can see. And as you can see, he's pretty straight. Let's move his arm out the way. You know, he's pretty straight. He's leaning back a little. And, you know, I think you probably already guessed. But, you know, me just filling around with him, he's a bit back heavy, and that's expected because he has all of this on his back, which is pretty much everything that he has on him, except for the main body, of course. But, you know, that's quite a lot. And when the figure has that much on his back, it's a little bit hard to stand him. Like, if you wanted to look up like that, it wouldn't work very well because he'd be trying to fall backwards. But, I mean, for the most part, it doesn't really get in the way unless you're trying to lean him backwards, but you may have to lean him forward from time to time at some joints. Also, some friction extenders in his hips might help. But, you know, as it is, it's not extremely bad. I don't really lean them back, and if I, you know, I'll usually like bend the knees if I do something like this. And yeah, you know. But enough about that. Let's look at his weapon, which you saw before. It is this large flame sword, which you could probably switch this out. Now, I have this Fireblade, and I just use it because I can, and I like it. You know, because it's red and it's orange. It has the orange blades. What I do like about this is how it has this kind of like hilt with the blades here, and that just looks really cool, as you can see. That just looks so awesome to me. So yeah, I mean, these are a bit out of place. If you could switch those with red ones, this will look that much more awesomer. Or maybe even some gray ones to match with this handle here. But yeah, so you can give it to him. He wields it in his right hand. You can change that depending on who you are. So let's angle down a little, and let's give it to him. On the bottom, we put this Bionicle hilt piece. Just like this. There you have him with his sword. With his sword, I think he's just that much more awesome. So now that you've looked at his weapon, let's get to his backstory. I don't think I've come up with a proper backstory for this guy. You know, he's a hero, he does stuff. He's a swordsman, as you can see, because he has a sword. But, I mean, you know, he's a pretty good swordsman. He's pretty skilled. He might have originally been the brother to Skystorm. I'm not sure. I mean, if you wanted to do that for your story, you could. For my story, I'll say that, well, maybe more like cousins. I'll say maybe he's more of a cousin to him, and that, you know, they're pretty similar. He doesn't have any powers, though. He's pretty much normal, but he does have the flame sword, which I guess it could have flame effects and, you know, light itself on fire and stuff. But, you know, for more of the backstory, I guess, I don't really have any for this guy. I mean, I guess I could say, you know, this is right after the conflict. I guess he just goes out, you know, he does his hero stuff, and yeah. That's all I have, really. I guess I should mention, I built this guy right after Deadshot, and I was thinking, when I built him, like, why doesn't this just be another version of Deadshot? And another part of me was like, dude, no, you just built another version of Deadshot, and I think that's true, so that's why he turned into Skyblade. You know, he has sharp wings, which I should have mentioned. I think I'll just have all these be, like, you know, actually bladed stuff, which is why it's called Skyblade, you know, because wings. And I call him that because his wings are made out of, you know, what would be considered sword blades in, you know, most other uses. So that's the reasoning for his name. You know, he just flies to the skies. You know, he's he's a good hero. He does awesome stuff. You know, he fights the bad guys. For any story related to the story I've weaved so far, not really any. I haven't taken the time to come up with any. So I'll say he, you know, he's just part of the story. He just goes and does stuff. For his story, though, I'll just come up with some right now. I'll say that maybe he was one of the ones deployed to go and look for Surge after he attacked Hero Factory. You know, just with a couple other heroes to help him. You know, all of Hero Factory searched for him, and this is one of the ones who did help. Maybe he went back to Zygeria to find some other stuff, but, you know, stuff like that. So, enough of me talking. I'll let you guys go. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did enjoy, please leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more mock content, and I will see you guys later.